People, when they meet me, after I tell my story, they tell me, you are a legend. Everything that I went through, and I'm still here to talk about it. That's why I put legend on me.
I guess we're looking at the start of a new beginning. It was in better shape than I thought, but also, you know, pretty lonely walking around the mall by yourself.
It's very hard to be a female filmmaker in Hollywood, that is for sure. I think they feel like you don't have as much authority, or you can't command a set as much, or they don't seem like they won't give you a chance or a risk quite as much.
This story is based on Osita, a Los Angeles queen from that F.
People, when they meet me, after I tell my story, they tell me, you are a legend. Everything that I went through, and I'm still here to talk about it. That's why I put legend on me.
So by the time I turned 12, I was doing drugs, running up on men, asking them where they from. I love stealing cars, I love playing with guns, so I ain't had no childhood cause I was on the run.
My name is Sherry Garcia, and I am working at Homeboys Industry. It's basically to help you to get ready for a job and to learn how to act on yourself, you know? If I wouldn't have came to Homeboys, who knows where I'll be doing right now.
So Homeboy Industries is an 18-month training program for gang members and recently released incarcerated men and women.
I've been here 5 months now, and it's changed me. I learned how to humble myself. I learned how to look at this person like not an enemy. I love this place.
So what does it feel like if you're not willing to forgive yourself, and how does it hold you back from growing?
It's hard. I'm barely working on forgiving my mom. I was getting beat as a little girl. My mom was an alcoholic, on drugs. She was in an abusive relationship. I just remember he would come home drunk and my mom would tell me, run.
How do we make what the tragic that we've been through, how do we turn that into a positive? We have tours, and what they do is they go throughout the facility and they tell, you know, what we do here, but they also get to share a part of their story. And each time they get in more acceptance and more acceptance of their own story.
So then at 12 years old, my mom don't like my attitude. So she takes me to the park. There's a bunch of cholas there, and I'm like, she's introduced me to everybody, and you're gonna get into the gang. And I was like, what do you mean you get into the gang? Then I started pimping and getting high, selling drugs. To me, when I got high, it made me numb. You know, like, I'm not gonna sit here and cry and think about, oh, my mom don't care about me, you know, I'm just gonna get high. But the next day when you wake up, you still got the same problems, you know? And I believe I overdosed a couple of times, you know?
Yeah, I'm actually a part of Homeboy Industries as well, and I'm trying to rehabilitate my life as well. And when she did tell me her story, it inspired me to sit down with her, wrote some stuff out about her life, and yeah, I write my own music. King Nico. Los Angeles, my streets get crazy, overdoses daily. Los Angeles, 13 years old, I'm pimping hoes and banging. Los Angeles.
This park right here is where I used to hang out at and drink all day. And I used to wake up every morning and come over here. The neighborhood's always gonna be there. I'll never forget who they are and where I came from, you know? I'll never forget that. It's just that I stay my distance, you know? No, I never got out. I just stay away. You cannot get out. I did walk in here a couple of times. I said, I can't do it. There's different hoods here, you know? There's enemies here. So I finally made it through the second door, and I told Father G. He said, how can I help you, kiddo? I said, man, I'm gangbanging, I'm doing this, I live in the hood, and I need help.
During the process of being here, they also get some skills on how to work janitorial, maybe working in the bakery, maybe working office. So now they have a resume that shows that they have current job history, and then the goal is to get them employment outside of Homeboy Industries.
Thumbs down with this. This is called switching. This is really good if you're in front of a computer.
We have Criminal and Gang Anonymous, we have parenting, and we also have substance abuse classes. And so what the individuals do is they come in and they learn to work on themselves.
Okay, right here is the tattoo removal. It's laser, and also, like I said, it's gonna take a couple of treatments.
So your mom, she's going to go through some discomfort right now. Okay, it's going to feel like popping grease. 3, 2, 1, breathe. There we are. Here we go.
10.5, 1.5?
Yeah, and you're all done. So we're done now. We're done for now.
It hurts, like hot burning oil. It's really bad.
She's a strong woman.
Well, people judge me everywhere I go. People look at me because of the tattoos, you know. It's even hard to get an apartment. You want one of these for now?
Yes.
So how was your day?
Good.
I'm just asking because I did a class today and I was like, I don't even know how to like move the mouse and all that.
Well, I know how to OMG, that's all.
You know how to do it? And I don't. I got my girls to think about. I'm trying to show them a better life than, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but a better life than what my mom showed me. Because I don't want them to grow up the way I did.
Proud of you, homegirl. This song was inspired by you.
What the Sikh faith says is that there are two parallels. There's the physical body, and then there's the soul, which is the spiritual.
In much of Iraq, the wives and children of defeated Islamic State militants are rejected by their communities. But this town was once home to some of IS's most notorious leaders, now all in hiding, in jail, or dead. If all of the families of all of the fighters stayed away, this town would be half empty.
هاي فلوس مال دواعش. يعني هاي اخترق عايش في الحرق. هاي كلها العالم هي وقعت. لأن ما كنا نريدهم يرجعون. عششتنا منهم. يا ابو ليش؟ انت مو مسلم وتلقانا احنا اكثر منهم. تسمين بدين وهاي بس شنو عبنهم؟
The desert town was long a hotbed of radical Islamist thought. When Islamic State took over in 2014, its numbers exploded as men here joined the cause. Their will was imposed on all. Now once again ruled by tribal leaders, IS victims live side by side with the militants' families. Sheikhs are working to reconcile the two sides, but hatreds here run deep. This town may never escape its extremist past, but it may one day reconcile and become a rare example of how a country enveloped by a cycle of violence can move beyond vengeance.
Walking around here today, it's kind of surreal to see how dead it is. You do remember how vibrant it once was, particularly when it first reopened. It was pretty much a bustling mall, and it was very crowded and used quite extensively. I actually rented my tuxedo for my senior prom from the tuxedo shop that was up here when it was the old outdoor mall. There was also an ice cream parlor, I remember, up here. So, I did probably pick something up to eat here. I do have a lot of memories, particularly growing up. I mean, this mall opened up in the late or mid-60s. I was born in the late 60s. I've never been probably more than 3 to 4 miles away from the mall. It would be a place where you would come to get together with your friends or just hang out. You still long for some of that stuff.
There were just too many malls in this area servicing the population. I think fundamentally in the United States, we overbuilt the amount of retail here. Our retail square footage per capita is 3 to 4 times what it is in any other developed country around the world. Fundamentally, it was unsustainable. Online retail made things even worse. And that happens a lot in capitalism and other places, right? We overdo it, it gets dialed back, people make adjustments to succeed. This building in here right off of Eisenhower in the Carlisle district. But this shows our project relative to... Now we see it as an opportunity to create this great master plan mixed-use project.
One of the things that we're really trying to consider now with this plan is balancing.
We'll compete differently. It won't go head-to-head with these large malls. It'll be more about servicing the community's needs with things like theaters and health clubs and restaurants and things of that ilk. You're also going to see a strong emphasis on placemaking, on gathering spaces, and creating opportunities for people in the community to come together in one place.
I think people are right now, they're ready to see something new, see this place come alive. I guess we're looking at the start of a new beginning. It was in better shape than I thought, but also, pretty lonely walking around the mall by yourself. You don't really know what to think when you're walking around in a space that big that's completely empty.
When you do meditation as a part of a larger community of what we are doing this evening, it sort of controls your ego. You do not feel arrogant that somehow you're better than others. You are at the same level as others. Everything that we do is based on voluntary offerings that come from different people. So the community gets together and they cook the meal here in the kitchen downstairs at this Gurdwara. And so does it happen worldwide. Wherever you see langar, it's all voluntary based. Well, the religion itself focuses heavily on dignity of humankind, and serving langar where everybody sits together on the floor at the same level sort of bonds that and reiterates that all humans are created equal, and there's a huge emphasis on gender equality, equality of all humankind, to the level that even if you follow a different faith, we do not say that you're not going to achieve your destination. We feel that anybody belonging to any religion, any caste, any race, any social level, any economic level can attain peace and attain God. What the Sikh faith says is that there are two parallels. There's the physical body and then there's the soul, which is the spiritual. So if your body is hungry, your soul cannot even focus on attaining God. So it's for those who are needy. And then also, you might not need the food, but you need to bring your mind to the level of the Guru. You must commit that you are a student of the Guru, and the Guru says that all are created equal.
More? Okay. Apology. Apology.
Langar means anchor. Anchor is used on ships, so the ship does not just move around. So just like that, Langar anchors ourselves, our bodies and our minds to the Guru, which is the teacher. So as long as you stay within the boundaries of the Guru, you will not be destroyed, just how a ship does not get destroyed once the anchor is in the sea. You do not have to be Sikh to appreciate the values that are given by this faith. That is equality, justice, and freedom for all.
Life is interesting because once I made a commitment, good things start to happen.
I'm Greta Van Susteren, and today I get to speak with Una Lee.
Hi, Greta. Thanks for having me here. I am the executive producer for VOA's Korean service.
How long have you been in the United States?
About 20 years.
When did you end up here at Voice America?
I joined VOA January of 2017.
I've been to North Korea 3 times. I know you've been to North Korea, but you had a very different experience.
I was detained in North Korea for 140 days and rescued by former President Clinton. For the first 3 days, I was in a prison cell near the border. There was just me and guards who watched me.
There's another person who was detained with you or captured with you. You weren't together.
I think they intentionally separated us and didn't tell us that we were in the same building until we came home.
When you were detained, you must have realized that you were a high-value target for DPRK, North Korea.
I didn't get information from outside. The only information I got was from the letters from home, from friends and families.
They gave you those letters?
Mm-hmm. And very thankfully, those are the like lifesaver for me.
Did you have any idea when you were detained that there was a chance you would get out, or were you thinking in your head that you were going to be there for 10, 15 years?
Well, North Korea is a very unpredictable country, and one day you're hopeful, one day, you're not. You have no one to talk. You have only 4 walls in front of you. So it was very difficult.
What I like about Voice of America so much is that every reporter, every correspondent comes to every story with experience. And, who better to cover this than someone who's actually gone through this?
I like to share the stories of untold stories with our viewers. To me, the people who work in the journalism is some people who has power, who can make change in the world, and I wanted to become one of them.
My name is Lena Khan, and I'm a writer and director. When I was starting out, people in the community, South Asian as well, most of all, they were like, why are you entering such a stupid career? I like what I'm doing. I like it. I feel like it has some value. It's incredibly fun. And then I'm also a faithful person where it's always, for me, it's about sort of like how you went about your day and kind of what you tried, and the results are up to God. My parents are both from India. I used to be at a couple production companies in various capacities, and people would always send me all the scripts that had anything to do with anywhere ranging from the Middle East to Southeast Asia. And they'd be like, oh, give it to Lena, maybe she'll know something about it. I can see subtle things, just that sort of surprise when they find out I have normal interests and do normal things. It's very hard to be a female filmmaker in Hollywood, that is for sure. I think they feel like you don't have as much authority or you can't command a set as much, or it does seem like they won't give you a chance or a risk quite as much. And for the Muslim thing, I just think they are still trying to process that. Tiger Hunter is about a young man who immigrates from India in the 1970s, kind of on this big quest for success. But really what it is about him trying to kind of live up to the big shoes of his father. I wouldn't have a career if I didn't do this movie. I mean, it's literally the thing that got me everything.
Well, there is one more thing. Ruby.
People who are South Asian or Muslim can't seem to believe that our stories have any real value. And so the moment you start talking about, oh, you know, such and such person from this company, aka white person, said this movie is good, that's when their eyebrows raise. And that's when they feel like, oh, okay, somebody else validated this brown person's story, and thus it has something to say.
Everything's so clear to me. I can see Gemini.
I've been doing a TV show. I'm on a Disney movie right now and some various other things, and all of it's because of the Tiger Hunter. Any kind of facets that I think make me a minority, whether it's female, Muslim, etc., definitely not a plus. For me, what's always worked is when it comes down to the work, not paying attention at all to what my background is and kind of being oblivious to those sorts of barriers, because then you just do what you got to do. But when it comes to networking or sort of being strategic or whatever it is, the more we help each other rise, I think everybody sort of goes up. And that was a big decision even with the Tiger Hunter.
The one thing I enjoy is the whole process of creating, because that's when I become myself. I believe the life lives in all details. Even just one hair talks about that person, and I like noticing those details. My name is Kazuhiro Tsuji, and I'm doing portrait sculptures, and also sometimes I work on film. I'm from Kyoto, Japan, and when I was a child, I was really like an introvert. My parents divorced when I was 15, and I haven't seen my father over 30 years. Most of the time I was by myself, making something at home. So what I'm doing right now, I think because of that. When I first saw makeup done by Dick Smith in a magazine, which was makeup of Abraham Lincoln, I was so fascinated by it. I thought, oh, this is it. This is what I really want to do. I started to work on set, doing application on the makeup on actors, and that was a time I started to feel like this is really stressful for me. Work on the film set is so unpredictable. It's lots of waiting, and you don't know what's going to happen next, and lots of anxiety. I started to realize, okay, this is not good for me, because I started this work because of my passion, and so is this something I have to deal with all my life? Dick Smith was born 1922. In 2002, that was his 80 years of birthday, and I decided to create his portrait. And when I showed it to him, he was really touched by it, and he was crying and very emotional. That moment, I thought, I really want to do this for my living. I decided to stop taking film work and try to concentrate on creating portraits. Life is interesting because once I made a commitment, good things start to happen. When I create sculptures, I intentionally try to create from inside out. The great thing about it is it's three-dimensional, so depend on the height of the viewer and what their mental state, and that will reflect almost like as a mirror Even like if the audience, they don't know who this person is, they start to somehow connect to each other. And the size-wise, it's just bigger than life, and that will make them feel like a child. To create this portrait, it usually takes about 2.5 months to 4 months. It depends on the subject I create. Most of the people who went through lots of struggle in their life, and they made a breakthrough, and they found the way to live. So by creating those people, I also encourage myself to figure out what is life about, and also that will inspire many people.
How did I mix ballet and hip-hop? As a classical ballet teacher with lots of African American kids and kids of color, I decided to make it fun. So I used to do what I call the rap ballet. I would rap about ballet. I would say, the ballet put your body in touch, put your mind, and the rap beat keeps you stepping on time. And the kids were like, wow, this is cool. But as I started rapping the different exercises, I realized that they were understanding and paying attention because of the rap beat. And hip and hip, and hip and hip. And I kept thinking hip hop and ballet, ballet, hip hop, hip play. I don't care your shape or size. And that's another thing about classical ballet. You really have to be this thin, anorexic looking, you know, long neck, skinny arms, be able to, that's not how it is with the hip play ballerinas.
It's really kind of a beautiful blend of things that are from different places and different cultures, and takes a lot of technique and skill, but also a lot of like grind and energy and soul. And so it just combines all the things that I personally love about dance into one art form.
Wow. All right, that's it. That was a little better. That was a little better. Some of the members are living with mental disorders, like myself. And I come to Capitol Clubhouse because I just like to keep busy and also stimulate my mind. I'm not worried about people judging me.
After 15 minutes, a militant came and told us that someone in the bathroom has killed herself. I immediately knew it was Jalan. She slit her wrist.
They taught me how to pull the handle of the rifle and put the magazine in it. One of them shouted Allah Akbar 3 times and then ordered to shoot. He turned and shot me.
At 10 o'clock, a man came. He was the American Daesh. I asked him, "What are you doing to us?" He said, "I am going to sell you."
They shot gun over our heads, but we did not stop until we reached a bridge and jumped.